Hello, this is ENilhas, and this is my presentation for Module 7 about the communication, internal and external, at the Lancaster Elementary School. So, to create this chart, I went back and forth with different ways to organize the information, and at the end, I focused on every members of the public and inside the school, and then I would like to describe how the communication happens when it's internal or external. So the creation process, I went and explored different tools that were suggested in this module, and I kind of struggle getting a handle of them, especially because these tools or apps that I had to download into Google Chrome had very limited options for what I wanted and the way I wanted my chart to look like. So I ended up using, after a while, using Canva that allows me to more flexibility and to create the charts the way I want it. So what I did is decide, so what's my public and the members of the public. So I know that we have internal communication when it takes place among participants within the organization, and I have to think hard whichever parents would be part of the organization, and I decided that yes, especially because we have parents that are members of the parent-teacher organization, so parents do support the school, and they are also members, and they are a part of the organization. So I would like to show you a little bit more in detail. So I'd like to show you the school board first. The school board, when communicates with my school, with Lancaster Elementary, I'm going to try to move this a little bit more. Okay. Hello, this is ENilhas, and this is my presentation for Module 7 and about Lancaster Elementary School communication chart. To decide how to present my information, so I went through the members of that communicate, and when the communication happens like internal publics or external publics. So what I did is I decided to go by the members and then explain how they communicate with internally with my school, my elementary school, and externally to the members of the community. So I'm going to also let you know that I went through different tools to create charts, and I spent a lot of time trying to have charts that would come up the way I wanted, but the free tools are very limited, and I ended up creating different charts in different platforms until I decided to go back to Canva, where I feel more comfortable and I think I have more flexibility, and I can add more graphics as well. So having said that, I will go by describing how the school board communicates with my school. So actually, the school board receives reports from my principal. The principal presents quarterly reports that are given in open board meetings every quarter, and these are presented orally, written, and digitally as well. So these reports are updates that school principals, building principals present to the board in open meetings, and this is a one-way communication because usually the board listens to this presentation. Sometimes they're able to ask questions. However, the board cannot address, or they do not address principals separately unless in this situation they go through the superintendent. If we think about external board meetings, the school board communicate with the community through board meetings, and these meetings happen 2 times a month. Also, the board meeting publish their meetings and their policies in the school website, so anyone in the community can go and watch a board meeting, or if they don't go in person, or they can go and read the minutes or read policies or any document produced by the school board. And also these communications is oral, written, and digital, and it happens in a formal setting. The board communicates with the public and with school administrators in a in a formal setting. So this communication is it goes both ways, because the public can speak at the board meetings and they can have a conversation with board members and ask questions. About the superintendent has very frequent formal and informal meetings with school administrators. So the superintendent in my district has bi-weekly meetings that are scheduled as well, and eventual emails to teachers and staff. So she communicates with my school through my principal, and sometimes through emails to all teachers and staff. And this is a communications that happens in both ways, because she can also receive emails and participate in meetings where she receives communications. And these communications are oral, written, and digital as well. And the superintendent does communicate with the public through board meetings and eventual emails to the public. And this is also a communication that goes in both ways and happens in oral, written, or digital form. So what I think is that the communication, the school board and the superintendent, the strength is that usually follow proper channels, so people don't go around talking to the superintendent or the school board, because I think they are very careful about maintaining the proper channels. About school administration, there's several administrators that, for example, the director of student services, the director of curriculum instruction, or the school principal. They do communicate with people in my school, with the employees and staff, in person, with formal or informal meetings, through emails, staff meetings, and announcements. These communications happen in both ways. I mean, teachers can also and staff can also communicate with administrators, and it happens in oral, written, and digital manner. And when they communicate with the community, my principal creates a newsletter that goes out to the community monthly. There are text messages, there's a website, emails, and also but my principal makes an effort to be there at drop off and pick up every day, so he can say hi to parents and the community members that go around. My school is right around a senior center, so seniors walk around school, and my principal tries to be visible and say hello and talk to people formally and informally as well. Faculty and staff from my school have meetings among each other, and they have formal and informal meetings in person. They communicate with each other through emails, and we also have regular PLC meetings where we can discuss stuff in an agenda that we can put on there. And communication happens in oral, written, or digital way, and it's also two-way communication. When the staff communicates with the community or people outside school, that happens in person, emails, when there are parent-teacher conferences, through websites, apps, and this communication happens in the way oral, written, and digital, and it happens also in both ways. So parents, when parents are at school as volunteers or members of the PTO, they meet with teachers and staff and with other stakeholders within our school, formal and informal meetings, emails, and notes. This usually happens oral and digital, and it happens in both ways when parents communicate with other members of the community. It happens through social media or board meetings, and this happens through oral and digital ways as well. Students do communicate with teachers and other people from our school in person emails. They also create bulletin boards and announcements, and communications happen oral, written, and digital, and it is a two-way communication. When they communicate with the community, they usually use social media, and it's a digital communication, and is a one-way communication. So students usually don't participate in meetings where there are questions and answers in my elementary school. So usually students in the middle school years, they do use social media to talk about school. The members of the community do not talk directly with teachers and staff within my school, but they do participate through board meetings, social media, and school events. And this happens with oral, written, and digital communication. And other partners also, like business and the Cornell Town that provides services to students after school programs, they communicate through board meetings, formal and informal meetings, letters, and emails. And this happens in written, digital, and oral communication, and is both ways because they happen to communicate with us in meetings where communication can happen in both ways. So among the strengths and weaknesses in the communication, I think that even though we do have emails and we have newsletters, this is a very limited communication that we have with the community. I think we are not doing a great job communicating proactively. And so I think we are a step behind, and we're not involving our community as much as we could. Among the strength is that because of the nature of politics in New Hampshire, people are really involved, even though if they have no children in the school system, they do come to board meetings and they do ask questions, and so they get involved with the communication within our school. So I think this chart supports how the community and all stakeholders support our students' learning and success in different ways. Thank you very much.